This presentation is going to show you how to change some settings in CNC Motion so that you can accurately verify your box project. There's a few things we have to change and adjust from our initials project to get it to look correct. We're going to change the tool library, we're going to change some of the run settings, and we're going to change the stock size so that it verifies on the screen the way you would like to see it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my tools. So I'm going to go to the tool menu and click on Setup Library. You might remember that we had to do this for tool number 3 when we did our initials project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up tool number 14, which is my deep cutting 1/8 inch end mill. Alright, so I click on tool number 14, and then I'm going to go to where it says tool type, and I'm going to select an end mill. Right, the only two mills that you'll use are the end mill or the ball mill. Alright, so the end mills are flat and the ball mills are round. I'm going to give it a description. So this is my 1/8 inch deep end mill. The diameter, if it's already in there, you can leave it. You can either you can also enter a decimal, or if you're unsure of what the decimal is, you can put in the fraction. You leave everything else the same and you hit apply, and you should see your tool there. Right? So you can go through and you can set up this for any tools that you might need. If somebody else has already set it up on the computer, that work will already be done for you, possibly for your tools. So we're going to click OK. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to verify my object. So we're going to see kind of what happens here. All right. So if I click on Verify Program, it's going to ask me to insert tool number 9, which is my 1/2 inch end mill, which I've already done. All right. And you'll notice that I start to get a bad arc. And I'm going to get a series of bad arcs, and it's going to start to draw some circles, and it doesn't look correct. So I'm going to stop that. Right? The reason for that is when we do our ARC project in G&M code by entering it manually, we use I and J, and we create full arcs and full circles. EdgeCam generates it as a series of little tiny straight lines, and that's one of the reasons why you have so many lines of code. So we have to tell CNC Motion to run it that way. So I'm going to go to Setup, and I'm going to click on Run Settings. And in my Run Settings, I'm going to click where it says Arc Centers Incremental. Right? And this basically understands that they're little straight lines instead of curves. So I click OK, and then when I re-verify, you can see that it's creating my box. All right? Now, as you see here, the 3D model or 3D image there is not correct for what we've created. It's only kind of half of my box there, and that's because we have the 2x3 stock size. So I'm going to change the stock size to the one that I need. If somebody else, again, is on your computer and they have a different size stock than you, you might have to change yours each day. So we're going to go to Setup, and I'm going to click on Stock and Vise. And under Stock and Vise, I'm going to enter my details. So these are 4.5 by 3.5 by an inch for the large card box containers. And you'll see that mine is not that size. I have the 3x3 cube, so that size, again, Setup, Stock and Vise, right, is the 3x3x2 box, and it will regenerate the model, and you can see how that looks when it's all done. All right. So I'll show you one more time. I'm going to verify the program. It will insert the tool, we'll create that, and we know how to speed it up and slow it down by clicking on the plus and the minus. And you can verify that everything works correctly. You can see the flatland operation that's done at the top. And here's my 1/8 inch end mill going all the way around. And then when you get all done, you should have your normal program stock. Now don't worry about if you see these little lines in here. All right, that's just showing you where it's cut. Those won't actually show up on your object. So that is how you set up the tool library, the stock and vise, and the arc centers incremental.